Yeah, can you see the PPT? Chetan?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon all. Morning we were discussing about the basic concept of taxation. Income tax part we discussed what is income tax, what is direct tax, what is indirect tax, example for direct tax, example for indirect tax, assessment year, previous year, person, SSC. These are all the concepts we have discussed in morning class. And now we'll discuss the meaning of income, then we'll discuss the gross total income and total income calculation, then one of the important part in income tax slab for the different year I will discuss. Okay, that is very essential. Income tax slab for the different assessment year, three different assessment year I have taken. So we'll discuss the income tax slab, that is very essential and very important. So that part we will discuss in today's class. So this part and all I have explained in class. So directly I will go to income. One second. I think here. 1 minute. Yeah, this and all we have discussed in the morning class. Yeah, now income. What do you mean by income? Section 2, subsection 24. Income is nothing but these are all comes under income only. Any profit or gains of business or profession considered as income. See, these are all self-explanatory. By reading itself, you can understand. So, income, any profit and gain we get from the business or profession is considered as income. Dividend, whatever dividend we are receiving from maybe from Indian company or from foreign company is considered as income. I am not segregating what type of income now, but all these are considered as income. But segregation of income I will explain later, but these are all income. Example for income: voluntary contribution received by charitable or religious trust or university, educational institution or hospital is considered as income. Value of perquisites. See, perquisites again one of the important concept. Module 2 in detail we are going to discuss about the perquisite. For the time being, any idea about perquisite? You can tell. I think in HR subject you might have studied perquisites. Anybody? What do you mean by perquisite? Yeah, just unmute your voice and tell the answer. Perquisite. Have you heard about perquisite? Come on, student. Have you heard about perquisite? Chetan? Yeah.
But exact meaning is not.
But you heard about perquisites.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. See, perquisite is nothing but it is the monetary benefit. Sometime it is monetary benefit. Most of the time it will be in cash. Sorry, sometime it may be in the form of cash or sometime in the form of kind. So perquisite is nothing but it is the uh, benefit received by employee from the employer other than the salary. So other than the salary, whatever extra monetary benefit employee is receiving from the employer, that is called as a perquisite. For example, car facility employee is getting from employer, accommodation facility getting by employee from the employer, then mobile phone facility, then uh, then other kind of perquisite like a free loan facility, from the employer to the employee. These are all kind of perquisite or extra benefit other than the salary the employees are receiving from the employer. That is called as perquisite or fringe benefit. Actually, slight difference is there between perquisite and fringe benefit. For the time being, perquisite is nothing but other than the salary, whatever the extra benefit employees are receiving from the employer is called as perquisites. Now, it is also considered as income. Then export incentives like duty drawback, cash compensatory support, sale of license, considered as income. Not that much important. For the time being, you read. These are all considered as income. Interest earned is considered as income. Salary is considered as income. Bonus, commission earned by a partner of a partnership firm considered as income. Capital gain. Two types of capital gains are there: short term capital gain, long term capital gain. Again, it comes under the meaning of income. Profit and gain from the business of banking carried on by a cooperative society with its members, it is also considered as income. So everything defined under section 2 subsection 24 of the Income Tax Act 1961. Then winning from lottery is considered as income. It is considered as income from other source, but still sorry, yeah, winning from lottery, it is an income first of all. Then it is comes under the classification of income from other sources. Then any sum received by an SSE from his employees toward welfare fund contribution such as provident fund, that is also considered as income. Amount received under keyman insurance policy including bonus considered as income. Amount received under the agreement for not carrying any activity in relation to business, sharing any know-how, patent, copyright, any income received under the copyright, know-how, then patent is considered as income. Then benefit or perquisite received from the company by director or relative of director, everything considered as income defined under the section 2 subsection of 2 subsection 24 of the Income Tax Act 1961. Now, you have seen some of the example for income. Now, this part is very essential for income tax calculation. See, in order to calculate the income tax, first you have to calculate the total income. See, from here onwards, you have to be more attentive in the class because this is needed for the problem calculation. Now, for income tax calculation, first what you have to calculate, you have to calculate the total income or you have to calculate the taxable income. Now you have seen what and all comes under the meaning of income. Now, in order to calculate the total income or gross total income or taxable income, what you have to calculate, what you have to do, you have to segregate the income. You have to segregate the income like whether it is a salary income or whether it is house property income, whether it is a business or professional income, capital gain income or income from other source income. See, all kind of income what you are receiving in the previous year, it should come under these head. This is called as 5 heads of income. Try to understand. I will write. See, wherever you feel that it is important, you just note down. Okay. See, 5 heads of income. 5 heads of income. So all the income should be classified as a heads of income. In that, one of the heads of income is called as income from salary. We have 5 heads of income. First one is income from salary. You know what is the meaning of income from salary. I am an employee. I am receiving salary, monthly salary I am receiving. See, this is called as income from salary. See, all salaried employee are getting the salary, monthly salary. That salary is considered as, that income is considered as income from salary. That is the first heads of income. Second heads of income, income from house property. Income from house property. What is the meaning of income from house property? Suppose I am having 2 to 3 houses, means one house I am using for self-occupied purpose or residential purpose. One house I am using for staying purpose, that is called as self-occupied house property. and other house I am giving for rent means every month I am receiving rent, correct? That is considered as income. That income we have to write under the income from house property. See, one house I am given for rent means whatever rent I have received from that house property, I cannot include that income under income from salary, isn't it? Because salary income is completely different. This is house property income. Therefore this income we have to write under the head income from house property. Are you getting? One is income from salary, another one is income from house property. Any house you are given for let out or given for rent means that particular income you can show under the head income from house property. That is the second head, income from house property. Say all the heads of income we are going to discuss in detail in this particular subject. Income from salary, we have module 2. Complete module 2 is relating to income from salary as well as income from house property. We have calculation relating to income from salary, but income from house property in this particular semester we have only theory. Problem part we don't have income from house property. But general meaning of income from house property, any rent received from the let out property, let out house property, that income is considered as income from house property, or that income shown under we have to show under the head income from house property. And third one is very simple, easy to identify, business income or professional income. Any income received from the business. I am running one business, regular income I am receiving means that income you have to show where you have to show under the income from business. And income from profession, not applicable for everyone. It is applicable for professional business like doctors, income earned by doctors, income earned by lawyers, income earned by chartered accountants, income earned by artists. See, all these income we have to show under the income from profession or profit or gain from profession. How many heads of income we have discussed? Income from salary we have discussed, income from house property we have discussed, then income from business or profession. One is business income, separate. Professional income, separate. Professional income is applicable only for the doctors, chartered accountants, lawyers, artists, etc. That is a professional income. Then fourth heads of income, that is capital gain. See this one, capital gain, or we can call it as income from capital gain. Income from capital gain. What do you mean by income from capital gain? As I said earlier, income from capital gain, under capital gain we have two classification. One is short term capital gain, another one is long term capital gain. Sometimes short term capital loss, long term capital loss. Again, this capital gain calculation, we have separate module for this calculation. There we will discuss the complete theory part as well as problem part under I think module 3 or 4 that is relating to income from capital gain. For the time being, simple meaning of capital gain, see any capital asset you have purchased and sold means you will get profit or loss. That profit you have to show under the head income from capital gain. Simple example I will give. 10 years back or a few years back you have purchased one land for 1 lakh rupees. Now you are selling that particular land for 2 lakh rupees. What is the profit you earned, you tell me? Land you purchased for 1 lakh rupees, now you sold that particular land for 2 lakh rupees. Net profit is 1 lakh rupees. That profit you have to show under the head income from capital gain. The same way, jewelry. A few years back you purchased jewelry for 50,000 and now you are selling the jewelry for 2 lakh rupees. What is your profit? 1,50,000 rupees your profit. That profit you have to show under income from capital gain. Income from capital gain. Sometime it may be a short term capital gain, sometime it may be a long term capital gain. Suppose any asset you purchased and sold within 3 years means it is considered as short term capital gain. Any asset you purchased and sold for more than 3 years means it is considered as long term capital gain. In simple, land purchased in 2010, sold in 2020. Short term or long term? Long term, because time duration is 3 years. Jewelry purchased in 2019, sold in 2020. Short term or long term? Short term. Why? Because time duration is less than 3 years. So capital gain is applicable to all type of capital assets. Now, shares. For shares, debenture, mutual fund, time period is only 1 year. Within 1 year, if you purchase and sell any securities, means it is considered as short term capital gain. More than 1 year, if you take for buying and selling, you are taking more than 1 year, means it is considered as long term capital gain in the case of securities, mutual fund, debentures. Are you getting? See, land, building, then furnitures, then jewelry, diamond, gold, etc. Anything, any kind of jewelry. Time period is 3 years. Within 3 years, buying and selling means short term. More than 3 years means long term. Securities like equity shares, mutual fund, debentures, less than 1 year means short term, more than 1 year means long term. This is under income from capital gain. Next, how many heads are over now? 4 heads are over. Income from salary, house property, business or profession, capital gain, and the last one is income from other source. Any income you are receiving, and that income you cannot show it under income from salary, income from house property, income from business or profession, income from capital gain, means you can show it under the head income from other sources. Name itself give the meaning, income from other source. Other source means other than the salary, other than the business income, other than the professional income, other than the capital gain income. Everything you can show it under the head income from other sources. Example for income from other sources: dividend income, gift you are receiving from friends or anybody, that is called as income from other source. Interest you are receiving from bank for your fixed deposit, that is income from other source. Then winning from lotteries, winning from horse race, winning from crossword puzzles, winning from a reality show, everything is considered as income from other sources. Are you getting? These are the 5 heads of income, very essential in order to calculate total income or taxable income. Yeah. Now try to understand, everyone. This is very essential. Therefore, I am taking a lot of time for these aspects. These 5 heads: income from salary, house property, business and profession, capital gain, and income from other source. If you add all these heads of income, 5 heads of income, then you will get gross total income. Try to understand. Gross total income is different. Gross total income is different. Total income is different. Gross and net, completely different aspect. Try to understand. All the 5 heads of income, if you add, means what you will get? You will get gross total income. You will get gross total income. Therefore, I have written the sentence. Just check it. The aggregate income under these heads is termed as gross total income. More clarification you need means, assume everything you are calculating for year, for financial year. Try to understand. So income from salary, for example, my income from salary per year is 3,50,000 rupees. Just an example. So take income from salary 3,50,000. Assume I don't have any income from house property. Write nil. And assume I don't have any business or professional income. Write nil. And capital gain, I don't have anything. Write nil. And income from other sources, around 1 lakh rupees I am having income from other source, means add everything. 3,50,000, nil, 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 and 1 lakh rupees. How much it becomes? It becomes 4,50,000. What is 4,50,000 now? 4,50,000 is gross total income. Are you getting? Is it clear? Say yes or no. 1 or 2 students. Just for
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Gross total income is 4,50,000. Now from the gross total income, you have to make some deductions under section 80C to 80U. See this part, which one? Deductions under section 80C to 80U. Maximum 1,50,000 you can show the deductions. That is, if you have make any contribution towards LIC, Provident Fund or NSS or any other area, if you have invested your amount, means you can show deductions under section 80C to 80U. Once again, this is important concept. We are going to discuss in detail about section 80C to 80U in the coming modules. Therefore, for the time being, from the gross total income, what you can show? You can show deductions under section 80C to 80U. Assume my total deductions under section 80C to 80U is 50,000. Just an assumption. Okay. Now, what is my total income now? Somebody tell me what is my total income now? My gross total income is 4,50,000 and my contribution towards 80C to 80U are 50,000. So you have to deduct deductions under section 80C to 80U from gross total income. Therefore, your total income is exactly 4 lakh rupees. One more name for total income is taxable income. Try to understand. Taxable income, total income or net income, one and the same. Gross total income is different, net income is different. Net income is nothing but after all deductions. Are you getting? Net income is nothing but after all deductions. Total income is nothing but after all deductions. And one more, taxable income is nothing but after all deductions. Therefore, in order to calculate the taxable income, in order to calculate the total income, in order to calculate the net income, first what you have to do? You have to calculate gross total income. Once you calculate gross total income and any deductions are available under section 80C to 80U, means you deduct that. Then you will get total income or net income. But maximum limit, how much? 1,50,000 is the maximum limit for under section 80C to 80U. Yes, this is the way we have to calculate the taxable income of an individual. Try to understand. This is not the calculation of taxable income of company. This is not the way of calculation of taxable income of Hindu undivided family or partnership firm or AOP, association of person. It is only relating to calculation of total income of an individual. Think about the person now. Under person, what and all coming? Under person, individual is coming, then company is coming, HUF, Hindu undivided family is coming, partnership firm, then AOP and any artificial judiciary person. So everything comes under person, but this is the calculation for computation of total income of an individual. So everything from our point of view we are seeing now. Individual point of view, from your point of view or from my point of view, calculation of total income. Yeah. So I think this part I will start that is income tax slab. I will do it in the next class itself, because here you need a lot of concentration because this is my second hour today. So we'll do it fresh. So income tax slab for different assessment year. I have discussed here assessment year 2019-20, assessment year 2020-21 and assessment year 2020, assessment year 19-20, assessment year 20-21 and assessment year 21-22. These three assessment year tax slab I have included here. And this part is very, very essential. Once you calculate the total income, then you have to calculate the total tax liability. In order to calculate the tax liability, what you should know? You should know the tax slab for the different assessment year. Here I have explained tax slab for assessment year 19-20. Remember, assessment year 19-20 means which is the previous year? immediately preceding year 18-19. Now tax slab for assessment year 2020-21 means which is the previous year. 2019-20 is the previous year. Assessment year 2021-22 means previous year is 2020-21. But remember, for you, we are discussing everything for the assessment year. I will write here for you applicable assessment year. For you applicable assessment year is 2020 and 21. Is it clear? For you guys, assessment year is 2020 and 21, and for previous year 2019 and 2020. Is it clear? Assessment year is 2020-21. What is the meaning of assessment year? Assessment year is nothing but year in which year you are paying tax. That year is called as an assessment year. Due date for assessment year is due date for filing the income tax return is July 31st in the assessment year. So for this assessment year, which previous year we are considering? Previous year, immediately previous year, that is preceding year 2019-20. In simple, whatever the income individual earned during the period of 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2020, for those income we have to pay tax in which year? In the assessment year, that is present assessment year 2020 and 21. This is the assessment year and previous year applicable for you. Okay, assessment year 2020-21 and previous year 19-20. So tax slab we'll discuss in the next class. Now if you have any doubt, means you can clarify, you can ask now. See, hereafter subject is regular attendance is needed, because without attending the class definitely you will not understand anything. Again and again I am saying, so everything connected with the previous class. That's why one class in between if you miss also, you will lose everything, you will lose the connection. Therefore attend all the classes, rule everything you should aware of it before going to the problematic part. Otherwise you will not understand anything, you don't know how to solve the problem. Everything is based on the rules. Yeah, any doubt is there, means you can ask. Otherwise I will meet you in the next class. Yeah, ask.